Natural disasters are always horrific, especially when teenagers mess up with them. Frigga, who loves her job at some mining construction site, finds her boy missing on his birthday. While searching for the boy, she also observes some signs of upcoming disasters. Hence, the movie opens with a group of teenagers who pass on the unprohibited fence, and one of them pees on a huge crack. This induces a tremor in the earth, and two of his friends lose their sight in this crack. The scene changes to Frigga, who is back home after a very hectic day and finds her daughter on the road protesting against her job. The area's youth want to rescue the mine because a lot of people depend on it for their jobs. But Frigga has to follow the protocols and orders from the authorities. She didn't even care for her daughter and put the car on her legs, but not for hurting. Luckily, she is saved, but she is super furious about her mother's irrational affairs. They get home and feel a low-voltage earthquake tremor while having a kiss. Frigga also realizes that the dogs are barking more than usual. Maybe there's some reason for it. Hence, Frigga's boyfriend, named Dabir, is a bone of contentment for her husband. He really hates his presence with her separated wife, but Frigga doesn't want to ruin things on his son's birthday. Therefore, he asks him to hold on to her thoughts and accept her presence because she also owns the house. Hence, they reach their son's room for a birthday bash, but he is missing. He is nowhere among her friends, and no one knows about him. Meanwhile, Frigga notices a mini-terror again, but its magnitude is ignorable. Hence, the boy is missing, and they set out to find him all around but received no help. Frigga's daughter is home with her girlfriend, and she wants to spend some quality time with her, but she really wants to search for her brother. Meanwhile, Frigga's duty is on call, and she went inside a cave with her ex-husband. They are here to investigate the phenomenon of tremors in the whole city. Frigga soon realizes that there is something inside it by tapping the hammer on it. A dungeon opens up in the darkness of hell, and they send a drone to monitor the inner side of it. However, it is never-ending and hollow since it is so dangerous for them to stay here for long. Hence, they aborted the search and noticed another tremor. But this is not just a shake, the whole cave is perishing. In addition, a kid starts sinking in a sand bath while playing. Although he has been rescued, it notifies the extent of the bigger calamity. They call the firefighters and notify them about the incident. Since Frigga is right beneath the sand bath and feels everything turning to stones. In the meantime, Frigga's daughter is looking for her brother all around. She asks his classmate, but no one has clear information about him. Although her girlfriend finds her car parked alongside the road with a boy sleeping in it, Frigga's daughter instantly rushes to see her brother. But he is not him but Simon's friend. She threatens him for using her car, and he sneaks out of the place. However, she follows and Dabir watches her running after him. He too follows them, and the drunk, sleepy boy informs them that he saw Simon near the fence last time. On the other hand, they fight for their safety and find a spot in the rescue box. Hence, after waiting for a few minutes in the box, they find a way out because they need gas masks here for proper breathing. They are still trapped in the collapsing cave. However, they find a small opening under the stones to crawl on the other side of the cave. Frigga volunteers and crawls first, but her ex-husband is still scared to move under the dunes. She encourages him to crawl, but he freaks out midway. She strikes his head to make him faint, and then pulls him out. Hence, the other two colleagues also pushed themselves to move through the small opening. But Frigga's friend gets stuck under the stone, but she doesn't give up and tries to save her life till the end. However, she loses her friend under the pile of stones when the cave starts shivering again. Her ex-husband pulled her out, but she left the place sobbing in pain. Dabir reaches the same fence at the start of the movie when a group of young people fall under the crack, but they reach the rift to find her brother. Dabir is also with her, and they find phones ringing under the cracks. Fortunately, Simon's phone doesn't ring here, making her relieved of her brother's safety. A hope for her brothers reaches out to them, and they start looking for him here and there. In the meantime, Frigga notices the crumbles of the walls and the shivers of the mountain. In addition, the ants are crawling up the walls, which means the mountains are shaking. Frigga calls Dabir and her daughter to escape the city as soon as possible, because he has read about the future of the city already. She knows that it is going to be the last shiver, and the whole city will dig up to the ground. She also notifies the teams and sends an emergency signal to the residents, requesting that they leave the city. Frigga and her husband ride to the city to find Simon and their daughter. However, Dabir takes Frigga's daughter in the city back to reach her girlfriend. She doesn't want to leave her girlfriend behind. Dabir tries to compel her to leave the dangerous roads, but she can't let her die. They finally meet up again and rescue an old lady with her girlfriend. A huge crack hit the road and their car got stuck. Dabir starts helping another lady who just had a heart attack. The roads are breaking and the mountain has started to touch the ruins. The massive cracks are spreading throughout the city, causing the roads to be torn apart. Frigga's daughter is in the drowning car with her girlfriend and an old lady. Her seatbelt gets stuck, and Dabir helps her girlfriend move out of the car with the old lady. The car is pushing itself deeper into the road, but Dabir encourages her to stand by until he slits the seatbelt with a blade. Luckily, the seatbelt is cut, and she rushes to the safe spot with Dabir. Frigga notices a boy on the road looking like Simon and tries to reach him, but the calamity has hit them hard. The whole city blows out into ashes, and everything has just been ruined completely. Frigga reaches the boy after a stop in tremors, but he is not Simon. He is just another boy looking like him, but they can't save the boy either. Frigga's girlfriend loses her girlfriend too in the ripping roads and large holes touching the core of the earth. The rescue teams take the survivors to a church and treat the injured ones. Frigga's ex-husbands try to stop Dabir from proposing to her because he still hopes that Frigga wants to be with him. She hasn't signed the divorce papers yet, which means she doesn't want to go. But Dabir believes in the other way around, as they are just papers. They don't have any worth in Frigga's eyes. Therefore, she doesn't bother to sign it, and their relationship is already over. They get involved in a hustle, but Frigga stops them. Frigga finds a girl who informs them about Simon at a school. He wanted to leave the house because he had a broken family. He goes to another city close by to set up his career in gaming. Although the place gets affected by the tremors, she rushes to save her son. Dabir, her husband, and her daughter also follow her. They find the place ruined completely and the dead body of a boy on the wall right after entering the computer lab. Frigga connects herself with a cable to keep track of the way. The dead bodies are all around, dumped under the large stones and covered in blood. Frigga notices a sound, and it is a girl with a pole stung into her body. She is crying for help and begging for her life. She is in a lot of pain, but Frigga finds her son under the same roof. He is sitting in a corner, scared and praying for some mercy. He is overjoyed to see his family near and begs for help. His mother doesn't think twice before jumping into the debris, which leads to a giant hole. The walls are crushing, and the steps are no longer safe. They are on the verge of a life or death situation because a slight touch to any wall will crack it in no time. Therefore, Frigga needs to step safely. Frigga listens to the little girl's cries and throws a wire to pull her nearby. But the girl's slight movement dropped the wall beneath her, and she lost balance. She can't stand the fear and will die there. They can't save the little girl. Instead, they want to. However, Frigga doesn't have much time to rescue her son, so she starts swinging with the rope to hold the other side of the wall. After trying hard to reach the support, the fringes stab her. The iron fringe passes through her thigh, and she loses a lot of blood. She also can't move now and cries in pain. Dabir refuses to let her strangle out the leg because the pain will be unbearable. She faints with the pain of it, but her daughter follows the courageous mom and jumps to save both of them. With the crashing walls, they get a large iron block hanging in the middle of the dungeon. It is hanging from an electric cable. It gives Simon a chance to serve his mother, and he jumps near her. He also stops the large stone from falling down because her mother is still stabbed with a pole attached to it. So the stones dropping means Frigga is also falling into the never-ending hole. Frigga's daughter jumps in and ties her mother's leg with a belt. Instead of immense pain, they separate the leg from the fringe and stabilize their mother. They have the chance to rush back, so the father pushes them up one by one. Dabir hurts his hand while pulling the strings. Simon is the first and eagerest to meet his father after the calamity. The walls are cracking, and they have no time to stand by for hours. Therefore, her daughter jumps on the iron block and hangs on the electric cable. She swings until she pulls her mother to jump to the block. Soon, the father realizes that the cable is getting weaker, so he rushes to hold it until Frigga and his daughter are pulled safely. However, it can't stand for long and starts ripping its safety sheath. He doesn't care for his life and keeps on pulling it harder, no matter how far his hands reach the uncovering wires. He gets struck by the current and loses his breath. Since then, they have both been pulled up but broken into pieces to see their father dying in front of their eyes. He wishes for the safety of his family and requests that Dabir look after his kids. Although Simon has not fully recovered from his father's death, they try to push his chest to keep him alive. However, they can't help it and lose their father in the calamity. Frigga is submerged in despair to see her family suffering from such a big trauma. Dabir also stares at the engagement ring and wishes to stay in their lives till the end. If you like this movie, then don't forget to subscribe the channel.